Time to fight the cope, guys. I think one of the best things we could do is start putting our opinions in comment sections where guys are coping hard and destroy it. Make it hard for them to cope. Now, here's a perfect example. Mr. Arch Reviews. His channel is a huge success because he deals in cope, right? He's talking about the Jaguar and how they're destroying their own product purposely to spit on men. He doesn't want to deal with this. All right. So let's see. He says, right, they never learn. No, men never learn. Men never learn. It's purposeful stupidity. It's to protect their own egos as men. Now we'll get into this. Mr. RH
Right,
Reviews.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Jaguar boss has doubled down. So, Jaguar came out and did a bizarre rebrand last week where they just
No, they didn't do a rebrand, Mr. RH. Or is it HR? What they're doing is they're destroying their own company because men enjoy the product. That's what they're doing. You have to come to terms.
showcased a bunch of freaks, I guess. I don't really know what else you can say about these individuals. Nondescript, vague, gendered douche canoes.
Yeah, it's done purposely. They put up something that would turn off the typical male consumer of the product. Right. This isn't an accident, Mr. HR.
Wearing just ridiculous piles of shite on them. Anyway, point is, yeah, last week he came out and said, hey, the people that don't like this are vile and intolerant, hateful.
Men are bad. That's when he says people, they use Mr. HR. They use gender neutral terms when they attack men, right?
And intolerant. Sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we're intolerant of shit, I guess. Sure.
Holy shit. Mr. H or HR, I keep mucking up his name. What a limp-wristed response. Talk about knowing your place.
What next? You know, what about next? And anyway, he's come out and then doubled down on it because, of course, this has been headline news. Lots of people have spoken about this.
He's not doubling down. He's not doubling down on a mistake. He's continuing with his hatred.
Because it is absurd that a car company would come out, rebrand themselves in such a bizarre way, whilst not showing a single vehicle, and then attack people, basically, which
Yeah, even you're doing it. Is attack men. Don't use gender neutral terms. And of course it's bizarre because men love women and we project our love onto them. So we can't imagine women attacking us in return. Men can't just look at a woman and say, wow, she has a different view of the opposite sex than I do. At best, women lack that. Even if you can't say they outright hate us, they lack our love for them. Do you see that? So this is not absurd. This makes complete sense, Mr. HR.
has not gone well for any company, actually. It's not gone well for any company at all. I mean, Gillette was probably one of the most prominent ones which began it, and then Bud Light, continued on that trend and lost.
Oh, really? So once you get to three, then it's a trend, right? Once it's a one-off, it's an oddity. If it happens twice, it's a coincidence. When it's three times, you know it's a trend. So you know this isn't going away. And so there's a motivation beyond we don't know what we're doing.
Lost billions. This is not something which companies should do. It's very,
Wow, that's a clever, that's an astute observation.
very strange. And it's really understandable to comment on these things because it is bizarre. It's a bizarre rebrand. Jaguar was a British company. It's not.
It's not a bizarre rebrand. It is a natural uh, consequence of women's hatred towards men, right? Now, even though his video is short, I don't need to go really any further than a minute and a half because I'm just going to be repeat myself. Let's see. The only thing I want to show you is he does the old, let me try to explain how wrong you are to his enemies. It's like, all right, here comes the begging. Can't you see that we should get along?
You stood the test of time for a while. The problem was you drifted from luxury brand, like elite luxury brand,
Don't you understand, guys? This is like a black man coming to the KKK and saying, "Hey, this is all a mistake. Why can't we all get along?"
to good brand, right? You drifted from essentially trying to compete with like the likes of Rolls Royce.
See, your hatred for me is all one big misunderstanding. This is so pathetic. Now, the one of the reasons that HR has done so well for his channel, he's got like almost 400,000 subs. You could see the reviews are zipping through in a single hours. The reason is because he sells cope, and we have to fight the cope. So I go in the comment section. I said, okay, who is the fool titling this video, "They Never Learn"? As if they aren't doing this on purpose. Men never learn. Most of us are still in the denial stage. That's what I recommend, guys. Go in there and start giving your opinions. Now, look, this is how much coke these guys are. The old customers are their only customers, right? And this guy gives a laughing emoji. And I say, yes, they hate men. That's you come right to the point. Why are you using a laughing emoji when they are spitting in your face? Gallows humor is cope. See, I'm in there wrecking the cope, right? Now look at this. Everything woke turns to shit. Donald Trump. Why do so many young men think that Donald Trump is in their corner and that he's going to change anything? I said, no, everything feminist wrecks men's pleasure. Get it right. The cope in this comment section is off the charts. Right. So this is what I recommend, right? It's a request. You're free to do it or not do it. Of course, it's just a request. Not like I could force you guys to do anything against your will anyway. But I mean, if you want to make some waves, why don't you go into popular channels like Mr. HR Reviews and start correcting them in mass? Start getting in there and talking and saying, nope, this is the motivation. Now, that will throw this into chaos because Mr. RH or HR, sorry, I keep mucking up his name, he will never learn on purpose. Men have to deal with doublethink to get by in life. Because in one part, he actually has to believe in his own horseshit. Men cannot get by in life if they realize women despise us just for the way we were born. They just couldn't cope, right? But at the same time, he does know that he has to sell cope to keep his channel as relevant as it is. It's that simple, right? So that's my recommendation. Let's see what happens.